Okay, let's start with the nation. 1.959 trillion naira allocation windfall for federal government, state, and councils. How court granted 72.2 billion naira damages against EcoBank in favor of Honeywell. Presidents will do well for women, says EDU. Experts project firm up of naira in 6 months. CJ never spoke with Tinubu, says Supreme Court. UTME results forgery. Mmesoma begs JAMB. Agency gives conflicting petrol consumption figures. Tinubu Akpabio governors strategize over palliatives. All right, so let me start with experts. So financial market experts yesterday projected the naira to strengthen to between 550 naira and 600 naira to the dollar at the investors and exporters window. According to the experts, the spike we've seen right now in the market will be short-lived as more foreign investors pump dollars into the market and into the economy. The analysts also projected that an uptick in foreign reserves to $60 billion is expected to be into our foreign reserves. And they said that it will impact the ongoing economic reforms by the federal government and resonate across key economic factors and sectors. Analysts at the various AfriVest West Africa PLC, an investment research firm, were saying this during a company's media investment party in Lagos State yesterday.
So the 19-year-old JAMB candidate Mmesoma, accused by JAMB of results forgery, has finally apologized. So we know that she had claimed she scored 362 against 249 that JAMB gave to her. And she read an apology letter at the investigative hearing by the House of Reps and ad hoc committee. And present at the hearing was the JAMB registrar, Professor Isiaka Aloyede. And she pleaded for leniency, promised that this will not happen again, that she has never been involved in any examination malpractice all her life. She was at the hearing in the company of her lawyer and family member, and she promised to become a better person. So she read some things, and I want to quote, said, "I deeply and sincerely admit that I ignorantly got my JAMB result from another portal that was not JAMB portal. But in the course of this, I lambasted JAMB solidly, standing my ground that I obtained my results from JAMB portal, amongst other things." So you can hear me?
No.
Okay. So you're listening to the apology, right? Yes. I apologize for all the apportioned blame and all the pain I have caused. I want to emphasize that ignorance played a significant role in my misguided action. I learned a clear understanding of the far-reaching consequences and the impact of my actions would have. So I'm sure definitely the lawyer had helped her to put this together. But we are waiting to hear what JAMB has to say finally.
Yes. Right.
I have agency gives conflicting petroleum consumption figures. Interesting conversation. So conflicting consumption figures released by the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has caused confusion. They said initially the agency has stated that 52 million liters were consumed daily by Nigerians, but the CEO, Farouk Ahmed, later said that it's actually 46.3 million liters that's consumed daily by Nigerians. And so stakeholders in the sector are asking NMDPRA and NMPCL to account for the 6 million liters per day difference, since the phasing out of fuel subsidy. And as we know, NMPCL has always been the sole supplier of petrol in the country up until the fuel subsidy was taken off, or till July. The industry watchers also say it's possible the companies did not supply 52 million liters per day, or it supplied this for 52 million liters, but over 6 million liters was not consumed in Nigeria. So it means, and we're talking about people taking it out of Nigeria and selling it to other countries. And Nigerian Customs Service also said that the smuggling of petrol has not stopped despite the removal of subsidies.
Wow.
So we're still taking our petroleum products out.
Yes.
After we're, it's to show us the conversation now is, so we've been paying much more than we were consuming.
Yes,
for.
It's obvious.
So there's a lot that has to be done. Anyway, as we know, other companies who got their import licenses have started, brought in petroleum products. So very soon,
hopefully we'll see
get
this
more
market
products, and maybe the prices would come down.
When I was trying to explain to somebody in my house, a young lady, that the market force, like, hey, this market, I mean, this market forces, let this market forces come. This market, so hopefully in the next few weeks we'll see the market forces work.
But my parents said that once they dropped subsidy, the queues that used to block Apapa stopped. It stopped. There's no trailer parking to block the road. So even though they're still going, it's still going across the border, I'm sure the number would have
reduced. Maybe smuggling would have reduced.
Yes.
Right. Okay, let's find another story. So I think I have another story in which one?
I have a story in Nation. So let me.
I've taken my story, right? Yes, I have. Go ahead.
Let me take the story about Osun State Governor. He's appointed 25 commissioners, and out of those 25 commissioners, 2 actually are from APC. In his PDP government.
Governor with a large heart.
In his speech, he spoke about the fact that he doesn't want he wants a responsive government. He wants people to be in tune with the needs of his people.
Right.
That the leaders he's appointing must be in tune with the needs of the people. And because of the economic hardship that is going on, he's appealing to them to come up with innovation. That this time, for us to achieve much with little resources, we must adopt cost reduction in projects and services. He also spoke about the fact that he wants transparency, accountability, and many more. But the highlight was that he appointed a lawyer as the commissioner for health among the 25, which people are a bit confused concerning. So I would like his press secretary to give us his reasons for appointing a lawyer as commissioner for health. I'm sure he has his own reasons, so he should tell us. And he retained the portfolio as commissioner for works.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start now with Punch. Fuel price hike. Business operators panic, fear shutdown, and job losses. Picture story here. Soldiers arrest Beninese. One other with truckload of cannabis. Mmesoma appears before reps panel on Beck's JAMB. Train attack. Court okays secret trial of Boko Haram negotiator. Drug dealers forfeit 111 abandoned vehicles to federal government. Questions, anxieties as Tinubu drag feet on appointments of ministers. NNPCL monopoly ends as marketers' fuel vessel arrives. Renowned Nigerian writer Kole Omotosho dies at 80. Okay, let me start with the picture story because it was a follow-up to the story I took yesterday where Major General Mwachukwu was telling us about the troops of 192 Battalion, the Nigerian Army operating in the 81 Division area, arrested a truckload of cannabis into the country. One was they were actually coming from Ghana, it was transported from Ghana, and they had investigated and revealed that it was filled with marijuana, smuggled into the country, and it was at the Agilete Road in Yewa South local government of Ogun State. According to the statement, the Major General Onye Manwachigo, suspects conveyed the drugs in a truck without a plate number, but were tracked down by the troops of the 192nd Battalion, and they were arrested. And the man's name is, let me get his name, Matthew Edegbe, is a Benin Republic national, and Joshua Benin Republic national, and Joshua Dansu of Idiroko, also he's a Nigerian, and he was a truck driver. Really, really, but at least we have the story, the picture here. Yes, some of the pictures. Okay.
So let me just take another story. Yeah, the drug story. So NDLEA on Wednesday secured an order from the Federal High Court in Lagos for the final forfeiture of 111 vehicles and motorcycles that have been abandoned by alleged drug dealers. So they've been in court, and the court has just, given them the go-ahead to acquire this, to take these properties and then sell them off and, of course, remit the funds to the federal government. And the grounds for it is that no one has indicated any interest in any of the vehicles, and that they were now at various degrees of deterioration. So.
Okay, another story?
Yes, so members of the organized private sector yesterday expressed fear over the possible shutdown of businesses and job losses following the hike in the pump price of premium motor spirits. And, they said they, started reeling out the numbers of how the petrol had gone up from 537 a litre to between 617 and 630 a litre. And that has triggered anger across the country. So commenting on the matter, the President's Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Francis Mishoye, said the unpredictability of fuel price hike will take a serious toll on manufacturers who already have to readjust their budgets to factor in added costs caused by the removal of the fuel subsidy. He said that will raise the prices of cost of logistics. That has been compounded already by the hike. And so when you now get your products, you are fighting to sort out your power supply, everything has gone up, and then you transfer the cost that they don't see many businesses surviving. And we've been talking about this, a lot of businesses have been closing up, and it's not easy for small and medium scale businesses. So they are saying that the government needs to always have conversations with stakeholders before policies that are supposed to affect the common people will be, had. And they thought that when they made that first announcement that the change will be minimal, the effect will be minimal, but it's just so high that a lot of businesses will be closing. So
the decision that all the political parties agree that they're going to do. Yeah. Everybody said they're going to do something.
They didn't see how it would affect all of us. They didn't see the extent.
But another thing that is affecting a lot of businesses is the fact that the decision of the ministers haven't been made. Punch is breaking down that 52 days without ministers, that the economic crisis deepens. The expectation was that it was going to be, it would hit faster. It would be faster. The LCCI
constitutionally has 60 days.
Constitutionally it has 60 days. The Nigerian Employers Consultative Association, Mr. Wadaderi, they said that even though a lot of businesses are apprehensive, they should understand that it has not exceeded the timeline for when this will be done. But the communication had gone out that it will be dropping the list on Wednesday, 18th, and then the list did not come out. So the LCCI, the deputy president of LCCI also mentioned that everybody is waiting. Many people that wanted to bring in funds into the country are pausing to see how the appointment will go, so that they are sure that he is going to follow up the promises he made during the campaign. People also, comments also from economic facilitators are saying that the president had been preparing to be a president even before the elections, even before he won the primary. So the idea that he hasn't been able to put together a list of ministers is worrisome for people. But we are all waiting, the entire country.
We are waiting.
All right, moving on now to Sun. Aftermath of fuel price hike, commuters groan as transport fare soars. Obi bemoans just killings, celebrates birthday with Plateau IDPs. Subsidy removal, FG set to review workers' salary, says Akpabio. Reps probe airport concession sovereign wealth funds. DSS clears Mba of NYSC discharge certificate forgery. Tinubu meets Senate, President and governors over economy. Equating ex-Niger Delta agitators to northern bandits criminals, says Clark. Okay, which story are we taking in Daily Sun?
We can talk about the subsidy removal as well. So we know that a lot of governors are trying to, cushion the effects of the subsidy removal on their people. But they said Senate President Godswill Akpabio was assuring Nigerian workers of their readiness to review the salaries of everybody. He said, this he said when he visited Governor of Ekiti State, Abiodun Yebanji, and members of the National Assembly from the state. And he said that the removal of subsidy was just to help curb corruption in the petroleum industry. And that is what everybody just has to wait out and see how it goes. And if they had not removed the subsidy at this time, the next few years will not have been easy. They may not have been able to even pay salaries and wages of the people. So, but now they are working towards, reviewing the salaries and wages so that at least people can have a living wage. The Colleges of Education Academic Staff Union, COESU, also directed their members, nationwide to go to work just 2 times in a week, because of, the after effects of the subsidy removal and the fact that they were demanding 200% increase in salary. Until the government gives them that, they just have to do a meeting and decide which days of the week they will be going to work, since most of them are not able to access transportation because they do not have, their money cannot take them through that. So let's just see how some of these things play out.
All right, so the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, yesterday visited Benue State and Plateau State. He said he cannot be celebrating his 62nd birthday after 327 people have been killed in this state. Obi appealed to all those who desired to celebrate him to please send gifts to those in need around them in these difficult times. He stated this yesterday in Lagos, saying the spate of insecurity in Benue and Plateau states made it difficult for him to celebrate his 62nd birthday. He, however, visited the Mangu local government in Plateau State, where he gave money and food to more than 18,000 displaced people. He visited the residents, greeted them, and also went in to see the Governor Caleb Mufwang, where he commiserated with him on the terror attack and said there's far too much insecurity in the land and bloodshed, and we need to do something to ensure that people are safe.
Let me take the story about the airport concession. So the reps are being asked, they set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the concession of airports in the country and report back with further legislative action. The motion was moved by Kama in Kem Kama, and he spoke during the plenary that the Nigerian airports are being consensual in his allegation to foreign firms and a few, he called them economic vampires. He said that we have Lagos, Abuja, and Kano, and they've consistently been subject of controversies due to personal interest that undermines the law of the land, and irrespective of occasional anti-corruption efforts by EFCC and ICPC, they've not been able to resolve the main issues that these airports, even though they are concessioned to a few Nigerians and foreign cohorts, they have not displayed any level of growth. That Nigeria should have a better quality, that we cannot compare globally to the Dubai, Amsterdam, Qatar, and other airports. And even within Africa, none of our international airports can compete within Africa with South African and or even Moroccan or Algerian airports that they need to investigate. That we're also lagging behind Kenya and Ethiopia Airlines. Like, there's a lot of things wrong with our aviation sector, and it feels like a few Nigerians are profiteering from the opportunity.
Move on to Vanguard. Petrol price hike insensitive. PDP LP tell APC and presidency. Subsidy removal. Lecturers in colleges of education to go to work twice daily. Mbaz NYSC discharge certificates not fake, says DSS. I didn't speak with Tinubu. Judges handling OB articles petitions, says CJN. Plateau troops seize 1,000 cows grazing communities' farmlands. Emefiele, lawyers tackle DSS over charge and bill tweet. Ganduje Almakoro battle for APC chairmanship, and reps suspend concession of airports. Okay, which story?
I have Plateau State. So operatives of Operation Safe Haven have seized no fewer than 1,000 cows and a large number of sheep alleged to be released by herders to graze on farmlands in communities in the Mangu local government area. Remember, we talked about Mangu local government area, the killings that happened there just a few weeks ago. They're also saying this happened just as 2 persons were confirmed killed at Weren community in Riyom local government following attacks by armed men. Villagers have described these armed men as Fulani militias. The operatives of Operation Safe Haven also said that they repelled gunmen at Gwarim neighborhood, but also extended the attacks to Kuru station in Wereng and Rian. 2 persons were killed by gunmen at Wereng yesterday. So we also have the senator representing Plateau Central, Dike Planf, raised alarm over the sustained grazing on farms, calling for urgent steps to arrest the situation. So the situation is there's some people, they are inciting with their behavior by releasing cows and sheep onto farmlands. And then also there's attacks on people, there's killings, there's just so much going on in that part of Plateau State.
Very, very short. One of the PANDEF head, Chief Edwin Clark, has said that it was very wrong to equate the Niger Delta amnesty program to the Northern Bandits, which is criminal, and they applauded the fact that Arewa Consultative Forum had consistently always said that these groups are criminals. They've killed over 63,000 Nigerians in the guise of bandits, killer Fulani headsmen, Boko Haram, ISWAP, and Sarami IPOB. These are global terrorists ranked groups and should not be equated with an economical fight for justice within the Niger Delta area. This is according to Edwin Clark.
That's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, it's Thursday. We'll discuss our hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.